Look at presidents who couldn't be bought. Look at presidents who could care less whether you were going to buy him with money or not. Name presidents historically that couldn't be controlled by money.
Man.
Name presidents that couldn't. Okay, Trump's one of them. Who else?
JFK.
JFK is another one. Who else?
Oh, Teddy Roosevelt, Dwight
Who
Eisenhower.
else?
Not many in the last.
Okay,
40
Reagan.
years.
Wait a minute. Reagan had money. Who else? Okay, Abraham Lincoln. You think Lincoln cared about money? No. What happened to those four? Go, Lincoln. What happened to him? How did it? Okay.
Literal or character assassination.
Yeah. What happened to John F. Kennedy? Okay.
Assassinated.
What happened to Reagan? 6 inches away.
Yeah,
What happened to
Trump.
Trump? They couldn't. If they did what they did to JFK with Trump, Trump would have been martyred. Trump would have been gone down as the greatest. It would have been the Republican. He would have replaced Reagan if that would have happened. He would have
Are
that
you
status.
shocked that there wasn't at least an attempt on Trump? I got to be honest. I was shocked.
How do we know there weren't?
Yeah, I think to me, what's worse though? There are many methods of assassination. What's worse though?
Character
This
assassination.
color revolution.
There's
for
nothing
sure,
worse than character assassination. I mean, you saw the article that came up with Vanity Fair, how Rudy Giuliani went from a 9/11 hallowed mayor to 2021 haunted ghoul. If you read that story about Rudy Giuliani, the way they present him, this guy went from winning the G-Man Award a few years ago from FBI in 2015 to all of a sudden
them tearing down his
to him
apartment.
Page 7, Pat.
Yeah, no, I see it. I'm just not. The whole story's a long story for me to go through with Giuliani. It's just
Would you
you're
do
seeing,
business with China right now? If China wanted to open, you wouldn't. So if they said we're going to come in, we're going to make PHP
I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. You know why I wouldn't do it? Why would I ever do something like that? I'm not a fan of control. So what leverage do I have over you? Let's just say I do that. What leverage do I have over you? What leverage? The other day, I'm trying to pick up my global entry card from TSA. You know how Clear talks to me? The difference between buying a Clear card and TSA. You ready? Clear. How are you, Mr. David? Good to see you. Have you resigned? We'd love to get your family on the program as well. It's totally fun. Would you like a mask? Oh, we'd be more than happy to help you out. You know how TSA? I show up. Caroline calls, says, this woman just hung up on me. Okay? I'm driving down to TSA to get my global entry card. Why are you late? Why are you so late? What happened? Do you realize? I said, ma'am, there's nobody here, but I'm sorry I'm late. I said, ma'am, I'm looking forward to seeing you in 5 years when I renew. I will not be here intentionally to not ever deal with somebody like you who is late. I said, I'm so sorry. So I left. $100. $100. Government doesn't give you service. You think I want to go in bed with somebody that represents the government? What are they going to do? They're on my team? Hell no. What team are they going to be on? So I'm surprised where a lot of these U.S. companies want to do business with China thinking they're going to be on your team.
Well,
they're
Pat,
not going to be on your team.
Let me pose you a question.
They choose China over the U.S. too.
Put yourself, Pat now, established, has money, money's not an issue. Pat 10 years ago, just starting out, scraping by.
Yeah, I don't.
Maybe you, I'm not saying you, but that person
I don't disagree.
would maybe consider it more than this
I don't
person.
disagree. This is why I'm concerned if a person who becomes president doesn't have their own money, nor have they served in the military. I have a hard time with that.
Yeah.
I think a president should have their own money because you don't make any desperate moves.
Yep.
And you should have served in the military. Those are my two criteria for me.
So
I think, because who the hell are you to tell a military guy what to do? Do you realize how disrespectful it is to tell him, you don't even know what life they're living in. You want to tell them what to do. Yeah, a soldier's going to sit there and say, what the hell are you talking about? What are you talking about? Like, you want to tell me what my life is like? Like, imagine if I tell you what it is to be a comedian. You guys are going to sit there and say, what are you talking about? You don't know what it is to be a comedian. I've never been in that room when comics are talking to it. It's like me talking, what's the big deal about stealing jokes? You're like, what the hell is the matter with you?
Yeah.
So, to me, you want to be a president, governor, whatever. Congress, Senate, go for it. You want to be president, you have to have your own money, established, your own money. And number two, you have to have served the military.
Well, look at Trump. He had his own money, but he didn't serve in the military.
I'm not. That's
I'm just asking.
Yeah, and he's getting there telling generals what to do. I'm sorry. There's a difference. You got if you don't have it, you can't talk to them as if you know their world.
Do you know the only president to have a family member serve in the military in the last 50 years?
Bush.
No.
Family, relative.
A kid, one of their kids, is Biden.
No. I'm talking about them.
No, I know, I get it. I'm saying that, but you're saying you have no authority to tell a general
No,
Trump.
buddy, you do not.
Yeah.
You don't. Yeah, let me tell you, military is a very emotional.
Yeah.
These guys are talking about mental, health and all this stuff. By the way, in the military, Like Simone Biles can take a break and go become a hero for mental health and what she did. She has a choice to do that. Of course, you can't do that in war. You cannot do that when you're under that pressure. You cannot do that when you're firing lines. You don't have the luxury to say, "Hey guys, please stop shooting. Guys, please. I have a headache. I'm getting an attack, anxiety attack.
Little depression.
Let's please stop. I'm going to take a break. This is too much for me. Please, I'm asking you, stop shooting. Okay, I'm going to get up." It's like, you know how you do a paint gun and guy gets up and walks out. Guys. You know.
me.
So for a person to act like they understand the military, or for a person who doesn't have money for a person who doesn't have money to be a president, you scare me.
Yeah.
Let me give you a different perspective. One of the things when we hire C-suite executives, you know what I like to hear from C-suite executives? I'll tell you, one of the guys who expected a job, here's how he recruited himself. Look at the way he did it. I loved his interview. One of my favorites, the way he did it. He says, I just want you to know I have a lot of different options right now for jobs because I'm very good at what I do. And you can call my references of the last 20 years and you will see what they say. I work half days. These are the kind of hours I work. I'm going to be here at this time. I'm going to be here at this time. And my schedule works this way. But I want you to know I've had a lot of different exits. So financially, I don't need salary. I don't care what you pay me salary-wise. You need to pay me a decent salary for what the market tells me, but I don't want to be the highest paid salary, guys. My interest is in equity. I want you to give me equity and give me a lot of equity because that's what I want to build. I want to help build a company because I've already had multiple seven-figure exits. I have cash. I have money. I don't need to worry about what I need to do to take care of my family for the rest of my life. But I'm only here because of the equity. Do you know I want him in leadership position because he will never make a desperate move, nor will he ever give me feedback because he's worried about finances. Now flip it. I had another guy that came for a job interview a few years ago. I'm doing the interview with him. This is one of the reasons why I was scared about the haircut I was getting yesterday. This is another interview I'm doing for a job. This guy's also applying for a C-suite job, but this is 6 years ago. So he comes in and the interview goes, resume, decorated resume, and he goes through it. I want to be the CMO, and I want to do this. I said, no problem. Let's go through the interview. So all of a sudden in the interview, okay, first 10 minutes, impressive. Second 10 minutes, impressive. Third 10 minutes, he just says, man, I got to let you know what's been happening with me. This is my second divorce, and I just went through this, and I have to pay this much money, and I'm back on the rent. If you can just pay in advance of $20,000 for me to be able to do this and for me to be able to do that, and while I'm moving this, if you can throw another $10,000 in, it'll be so amazing because of where I'm at. You know what I sat there and I thought about? I'm like, ooh, I got to be careful with this. Why?
This guy's desperate.
Because you, and by the way, there's difference. All of us have been in a desperate position before, but not when, this is not even a talent thing. I don't worry about talent. This is an executive position. This is very different with talent. Talent is a different story. An executive position where you have to lead people, you can't be stressed out about money. So I want to make sure household is good. I want to make sure finances are good. I want to make sure you've had the moral authority to tell other people what to do. So you want to be a president? I would put, if I was, now obviously I'm not the one that's making the guidelines here. For me, if you want to be a president, I think you got to have a net worth of, you got to have your wife, your kids covered, your future retirement covered. If you got minimum $10 million, $20 million, okay, great. That's fine. But if you're in and you're only worth a couple $100,000, you're going to do side deals for money because you've never tasted money before.
Pat,
You've never tasted money before.
Pat, what if you've made these $10, $20 million in politics?
No, I don't like that.
Yeah.
I don't like that because to me, Kai, so to me, there's two things that you will never relate to. Two things that you will never relate to. So for example, let's put the one thing that men will never understand. What is the one thing?
Having a baby.
We will never understand what it is to have a baby. Ever. I've seen my wife, what she goes through with the baby. We are never going to understand that pain, okay, that they go through. Now, so let's set that aside. That's on the pinnacle position for me at the top. So let's set that part aside. We're never going to know it. No matter what we ever do, you're never going to know it. So now let's go to the other side. A woman who was a woman worth $500 million, she said, hey, man, can I tell you guys something? The closest thing you'll ever know about what it is to raise a baby and have a baby is to start a company and you're the founder. Only founders will know the closest thing to the pain we go through having a baby. Okay. If a politician has never ran a business where he put his money on the line, how the hell do you know what it is to be a small business owner? You don't know what it is to be a small business. You don't even know how scary it is.
You don't know what it is to be a taxpayer.
By the way, when I was going through anxiety attacks in 2013, 2014, I couldn't tell the bank to stop asking for payments. I couldn't tell my guy that I'm released a $2 million contract on the office building to give me 6 months to pay rent. I couldn't tell the guys, hey, please, guys, don't put this. I couldn't tell my competitors, stop trying to poach some of our guys. I couldn't tell my carriers, hey, please be a little bit nicer to us right now because I'm going through mental and anxiety. I couldn't tell anybody anything. Founders don't have that ability.
Should you be able to? Should you be able to call timeout?
No,
It's like the war analogy.
It's not about should. Yes, you should be able to. But should your competitor stop taking business from you? No. You should be able to do it. But you should also realize that you're going to lose if you do that.
Yeah.
No one's going to stop competing. The market's not going to stop competing in this kind of a society. So yeah, I have a little bit of a hard time when somebody becomes a president who, one, hasn't made the money, and two, you've never served. What moral authority does it give you to tell us what to do?
Interesting.
So if you enjoyed this little short segment from the podcast that we did, here's another short segment to watch. Or if you want to see the entire podcast, click over here. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.